Today we're actually going to the filing Japanese patent. Let's listen what's going on here.
The White House does not deny Senator Durbin's bombshell. The FBI agents were told to flag every Epstein file mentioning Trump. In turn, Trump demanded to see how many times he appeared before burying the report. This reeks of massive. No kidding, but as usual, the stupidest confirm ever, right? The Epstein prison tape. Obviously, they know that they could find wire transfer. Someone was saying that the Wall Street Journal, they probably have DNA on this card. They obviously, the reason they went ahead with the story is they probably have pretty airtight. I mean, that was also hilarious about Jon Stewart saying, last night, you can't bend the knee enough. He said that he's suing the Wall Street Journal. He said basically Fox News, which, every night. He said it's like, in the middle of job going, finish up down there, I'll see you in court. It's like, it's never enough. When are people going to understand that? The White House does not deny Senator Durbin's bombshell. The FBI agents were told to flag every Epstein file mentioning Trump. In turn, Trump demanded to see how many times he appeared before burying the report. This reeks of a massive cover-up. No kidding, but as usual, stupidest cover-up ever, right? Tape had been done with a machete. The Epstein prison tape. Obviously, they know that they could find wire transfer. Someone was saying that the Wall Street Journal, they probably have DNA on this card. They obviously was also hilarious about Jon Stewart saying, last night, you can't bend the knee enough. He said that he's suing the Wall Street Journal. He said basically Fox News, which, every night. He said it's like, in the middle of a job going, finish up down there, I'll see you in court. It's like, it's never enough. When are people going to understand that? The White House does not deny Senator Durbin's bombshell. The FBI agents were told to flag every Epstein file mentioning Trump. If true, this would confirm Trump demanded to see how many times he appeared before burying the report. This reeks of a massive cover-up. No kidding, but as usual, the stupidest cover-up ever, right? Tape had been done with a machete. The Epstein prison tape. Obviously, they know.
No, I didn't watch the video. What video? What video?
Breaking news: Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files, and the Justice Department told him months ago, according to a new Wall Street Journal exclusive. DOJ officials informed Trump back in May that his name appeared multiple times in the Jeffrey Epstein documents. His own Attorney General Pam Bondi delivered the news to him directly at a White House meeting. And now, here's where it gets even darker. Trump was also told that the Epstein documents contained child pornography and sensitive victim information. To be clear, that does not mean that Trump is implicated in that. But behind the scenes, Trump told aides he just wanted the whole Epstein story to, quote, go away. Meanwhile, Trump supporters and aides like Dan Bongino have been furious, accusing Bondi of covering things up, and the fallout continues to spread. House Speaker Mike Johnson even shut down Congress to stop releasing more files. And in case you're wondering if this is all true, Trump literally just sued the Wall Street Journal for publishing one of Epstein's birthday notes signed by months ago, according to a new Wall Street Journal exclusive. DOJ officials informed Trump back in May that his name appeared multiple times in the Jeffrey Epstein documents. His own Attorney General Pam Bondi delivered the news to him directly at a White House meeting. And now here's where it gets darker.
Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. The Wall Street Journal has just dropped the story. If Trump was in the Epstein files in a way that was relatively innocuous, then who cares? Like, put it out. Like, it's me in there saying that this guy's a creep and I kicked him out of my Mar-a-Lago club, and it's somehow related to that. But Trump is trying very hard to bury this. I mean, here's the
guilty hard.
Tulsi Gabbard held a press conference today. In fact, just a little bit ago. Don't you think Tulsi Gabbard holding a press conference to say we've got a smoking gun on Obama today, the same day the Wall Street Journal is dropping the story, that feels like not a coincidence, would you say?
I think you might be onto something here. I mean, given how much political capital the administration has expended over this, I mean, they've taken so much income from MAGA, they had to shut down the House early to avoid these files getting out, or even the House calling for the files to get out. They kind of there was sort of a break glass in case of emergency thing with this Obama situation where they're dredging up these old files, which, by the way, they already had access to in the first administration to say, oh my gosh, Obama tried to steal the 2016 election. Clearly, I think there's like a huge smokescreen effort happening. And as you said, if it was Trump, oh yeah, I invited this guy to my wedding and I found out he's a pedophile and I didn't want anything to do with him, that was in there. Why not just put it out there? Because presumably a lot of other people, as I said, a lot of other people are implicated or mentioned in these files. And so I think there was something innocuous. They'd probably just move on. Like, I mean, this is like the biggest, the biggest effort from the White House to hide this information. It makes you wonder what's in it.
Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. The Wolf.
You used the word conspiracy a couple of times because we're talking about aliens. Is it a conspiracy though? Hasn't there been associates of Epstein that have been protected? Like,
Well,
isn't
hold
that
on.
a truth?
The Epstein thing is not. The Epstein thing is not a conspiracy. Obviously, you got Maxwell, who is in jail, deserves to be there. The things that she did are actual crimes. No, the conspiracy they were told, right, is that the only people on the list were Democrats, right? That it was Democrats that were on the list. It was the Clintons, right? It was maybe Bill Gates. It was all
Basement of
of
the
these.
pizza parlor. Yeah.
Like the pizza, it was all these liberal people. It never dawned on anyone that, oh, there might be some very powerful Republicans and maybe he was powerful. Even though, of course, there's a ton of video evidence and photo evidence and interviews that they spent a lot of time together.
Seems to be like there's a cover up. I don't know if you believe what is in the dictionary.
Trump is such a Jeffrey, dude. He's so Jeffrey. Everyone knows it. He ran a pedo modeling firm that was called out. That's the latest thing. You can look up his old. You just Google Trump's modeling company, and it was sex trafficking girls from Russia and other places. It's little liberal low rating news has at least one fan. Yeah. Who's he talking about? Who are you talking about, Molly? What are you talking about? I think Molly is a butthurt MAGA. Are you a butthurt MAGA, Molly? All right. Granddaughter of World War II vet who landed in Europe. Oh, Molly is a MAGA. Molly is a MAGA. Molly, I think Molly's in the wrong fucking place here. Sorry, Molly. I saw World War II vet. My dad's a World War II vet and everything else. Molly is MAGA. Obviously, we got a MAGA in the house. It happens. I'm very generous in making mods. I had to do a little house cleaning. She's upset that her dear president is a pedo.
Trump is in these files as much as it seems like he is.
He's in the
Why did the
files.
Biden administration do anything about this? An administration you were in? What do you
Yeah,
think about
so this is what I'd say to this. I mean, I get this all the time.
No, you
So
understand. You understand.
It's like-
Pan Bondi is an Epstein girl. She was a teenager, right? She's known Trump a long time. There are old pictures of Pam Bondi when she's a teenager. She was, what do they call that? She was groomed. Pan Bondi is groomed. That's why he's so loyal to her. She's one of his groomed girls from the days when he was running the pedo teen modeling, right? Pam Bondi is a groomed, one of the groomed children that he pedoed. That's the reality. All right. So look at this guy. All right. Bye-bye. I'm in a red car with a water gun. That's too funny. Dude, you know it, Beast. You know it, Beast. You know it, Beast. There, I mean, like, did you listen to the New York Times whistleblower dude? All right, did you listen to this guy? See if I can find him.
Here's the
New York Times whistleblower, DOJ. This guy. Listen to this. Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy.
From the New York Times, I'm Rachel Abrams, and this is the deal.
So I get in here a little bit.
In this impossible position of fealty to the president and the agenda, or fealty to uphold the Constitution and to uphold the rule of law.
So DOJ right now is being placed between a rock and a hard place. Do I follow the law or do I follow the president? Which is it? And this guy is a whistleblower talking about it. And you should really listen to how this guy talks. It's poignant in regards to what's happening right now. And what you have to understand is that they are literally requiring you to violate the law for the president. And that's the end of democracy. When you have attorneys and lawyers who are violating the law for the benefit of one guy, then you have a system where you lost democracy. And that's what's unfolding right now on there.
And time and time again during those 3 weeks, I was put to the question, which side am I going to be on? And ultimately, I didn't sign up to lie to a court. And that's the position I was put in, and that's the position others are being put in. And that's why
lie to the court. They're just lying.
It also sounds like, if I'm kind of hearing you correctly and reading between the lines a little bit, that like you have an image of what the DOJ is supposed to be. And maybe to start, can you just talk about why and how you ended up at the Justice Department to begin with?
Sure. I mean, I was at a law firm in San Francisco for a couple of years after clerking for 2 federal judges, and that was never the end game. I went there just because the money paid well. I wanted to live in San Francisco for a brief period of time, but I always wanted to get into public service, and the key marquee place to do that, everyone understood at the time, and I still until recently felt this way, was the Department of Justice, because right away you are leading big cases, you're standing up in court, you're saying Errors Rubini on behalf of the United States. You're not necessarily saying Errors Rubini on behalf of some large faceless corporation. You're here really representing the people of the United States. And the thing that I've always thought about when trying to explain this is,
all right.
There's this Supreme Court case from 1935.
I'm going to be, how are you going to get home?
What it is to be a government lawyer.
Because I'm going to, well, all right, I guess I can try to get you.
Attorney, the Supreme
Noon,
Court
you're going to be done at noon?
is not simply to win. It's to make sure justice is done. And that's the thrill of standing up in court and saying your name on behalf of the United States.
You sound, I just want to point out, idealistic.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's why you went to the DOJ.
Have a good day,
I
son.
think that'd be fair to say.
When you first joined the Justice Department, did it feel like what you thought being a DOJ attorney would feel like? Like, did it feel like the job was living up to the idealistic vision that you had, or your ethical expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's not true specific or uniquely to the Obama administration. It's true even of the first Trump administration, the Biden administration. When you got a court order, you followed it.
So let's fast forward to the first Trump administration.
When you get a court order, you follow it. You don't lie to judges and shit like that. What's happening in the Trump administration is they're lying toward this guy. It's pretty horrific. I really recommend folks listen to the DOJ. It's called A DOJ Whistleblower Speaks Out. You should really listen. It's horrific in regards to
The word is it a conspiracy that Trump is in these files as much as it seems like he is? Why did the Biden administration do anything about it?
Why didn't that's the $100 question. The reason is because, the Biden DOJ operated as the DOJ should, independent of the president. Biden didn't go in there because Biden is an old school politician, respects the DOJ. The DOJ is supposed to be for the people, for the American citizens, not for the president. So that's why.
An administration you're in?
Yeah. So this is what I'd say to this. I mean, I get this all the time. So I think it's like a great question.
I didn't think you were not getting expected the question, but it is a question
literally,
that I'm asking.
anytime I say anything Epstein, they're like, why didn't Joe Biden release us? And this is what I'd say. Have you met Merrick Garland?
They're blaming Merrick Garland. Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, first of all, like legitimately, the Joe Biden White House had nothing to do with enforcement on any topic. If anything, because of the abuses of the Trump administration, the White House, didn't engage in any particular enforcement matter. We barely did engage in policy with the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
They were so arms length fast. So
yeah, exactly. They were arm's length, and that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's always been, except for when maybe Hoover. That's the way our system is supposed to be set up. What Trump has done is he's bashed down that wall and he's made the DOJ his personal attorneys. And that should worry you. That really should worry you if you're an American, that now you have the president, has the Department of Justice as his own personal lawyers. The president always had his White House attorney and this to protect. They're really useless now. They don't do anything. They don't serve anything because the president is above the law. Why do you need an attorney? You can do anything you want. You're literally king. And that's the other thing, which they think that the American people are stupid. Obama is immune, regardless of what you think Obama did or anything. He's immune because everything he did in office was, is immune, according to the new Supreme Court justice, because of Trump. So it's insane that Greg, why am I a joke? Greg says you're a joke. Why am I a joke there, Greg? Greg, you want to elaborate? You think I'm a joke? I think that you're a fucking baby Nazi. Now I call you a baby Nazi because you're a Nazi in 1933. Everything that Hitler was doing in 1933, Donald Trump is doing right now. You have to. I'm a student of history, so history, doesn't rhyme and repeat. If you're dumb enough to not look at other role models, if you think it's okay to build up $170 billion deep state national police force, that's what ICE is. You don't think ICE is going to be pivoted to take away your Second Amendment? You don't think ICE is going to be pivoted to go after his enemies? You don't think that ICE is going to, be there because an authoritarian state needs a national police force? That's what he's building, the authoritarian national police force. That is what ICE is. When you get rid of the 10 million and, you've got vegetable prices like we have in Japan, are you ready to pay for a watermelon that's going to cost you $20? All right, you ready for $20 watermelons? Or oranges that cost you $1.50 each. Are you ready for the $1.50 oranges and the $20 watermelons and the and the lettuces and stuff? Crazy expensive, because that's right now what you get with immigrants, with the undocumented. They're cheap labor. Are you ready for your steaks to become Japanese prices, like doubling in price? Are you ready for that? because that's where you're going. When you get rid of the workforce that are willing to work at that price, and the other question you ask yourself is why aren't if you want to stop companies hiring undocumented, go after the people hiring them. They know they're undocumented. You don't think that the construction company or the restaurants or the farms, you don't think they don't know that the person that they're hiring is undocumented? Your attitude is like, hey, let's go after the person who washes my dishes, who takes out my garbage, who cuts my lawn, who does the roofing, 30% of construction, who picks my vegetables, cuts my meat. Let's go after those people, right? You understand how insane that is? And that is the immigration policy by a guy who literally is a Jeffrey. It's pretty coming out now, right? The pictures, the videos, it's resurfacing. It wouldn't surprise me. It really won't surprise me if, right? It won't surprise me if we don't see victims putting out books and stuff. What are you writing? Racist as fuck. What's racist as fuck? What's racist as fuck there, red guy? All right. What's racist? Yes, give those jobs to Americans. The thing is, red guy, you go work. You're such a fucking loser, dude. Like, go and fucking pick. I want you to. Have you ever go online and search at search laborers, search at videos. Watch videos of these people working. Where are you from, Red Pill? Red Pill, where are you from? Red Pill, where are you from? Give it to Americans. Americans are lazy fat fucks like me. I'm a lazy fat fuck. You want to go out there? Viva President Trump. Look at all the Nazis. Viva President Trump. The Nazis. They're a bunch of Nazis, baby Nazis, dumb fuck Nazis. You got the education of a second, third grader. That's what you guys are. You're just dumb. You think Americans are going to go out there and do fucking labor in 110 degrees, in the middle of summer, July, picking watermelons? Dude, I laid sod in high school in Florida. So I've done that kind of work, and it is brutal work. Working in a slaughterhouse with pig guts and cow intestines all around you, it's dangerous work. Dangerous work. And Americans are gonna fucking do that work. So naive. People are so naive and so stupid in regards to that. Anyway. Listen. All right, bad. What does it say? Laid sod. Yeah, sod. Laid sod in high school. You go lay sod in Florida in July, in August. Yeah, you tell me. Working, like a 12-hour day. Getting up working starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, working till, dark all day. That was some crazy shit. That was some crazy work. You pick up the sod, it's got the fucking ants in it. You got the bahia. You pick it up, you gotta pick it up just right, or it rips in your hands. Get covered in red ants. Yeah, it was a one summer job. Never did that job again. But that's the kind of work that immigrants will do. All right. Yeah. When you got like the nice sod wasn't the nice sod is with the vine grass. It's light. You can pick it up and just throw it in. But that fucking Bahia, it's like just heavy. And if you grab it too hard, you just get two hands of clumps. And then you sometimes grab it and you got those fucking red ants. They fucking bite the shit out of you, Rodrigo. What's up, Rodrigo? Welcome. Yeah, Rodrigo, tell you here, Rodrigo. Here, hold on. Where are you again? Yeah. It's like these are jobs Americans won't do. There you go, Rodrigo. Tell us your story, man. I mean, people are just dumb. I mean, I don't look at undocumented. I look at them as Americans. They're here working. They're here doing, like, you heard about the 84-year-old who was deported? He lost his green card. He went in to get a new green card, and they just deported his ass. He had a green card. He lost it. Oh, no, he had a quota because they needed a quota. Look it up. 84-year-old. 84-year-old deported. You guys are just evil, dude. You guys are Nazis. All right? You're a Nazi there. You're a fucking Nazi. I'm not a traitor. I'm speaking out. This is what an American sounds like, right? Traitor. Speaking up for, you don't even, you're speaking up for against the tyranny of an oppressed society, right? That's what an American does, all right? This is what an American sounds like. And, these individuals, there is 11 million individuals right now, just like in Nazi Germany, right? Actually, I don't know how many Jews were there in Nazi Germany. That's a good question. In 1933, how many Jews were there in Nazi Germany? In 1933, how many Jews were there in Nazi Germany? In 1933, how many Jews were there in Nazi Germany? So how come there was 6 million in concentration camps? That doesn't make sense. So so all the Jews that went to concentration camps didn't come from Germany?
That's correct. For Europe to concentration and extermination.
So there was just 500,000 Jews in Germany? Wow. I didn't know that on there. Yeah, 523,000, Leonard. So what Trump is doing is far worse than what Hitler was doing. I mean, think about it. He was, and they didn't start going after the Jews. You know that Nazi Germany didn't go after the Jews until 1941. Didn't start exterminating until 1941. But let me you to tell me about what was I going to ask? I got distracted. So the other thing is, Chris Knock. Oh, you got Grok 4 in here. We got comparing Hitler and Trump. All right. This is Brad. Look, Bandon. All right. Yeah, I'm getting DDoSed. I'm changing IP. All right. Why is this stupid? It may be trying to connect to my Wi-Fi in the house, and it's causing the buffering. Lewis, Obama didn't go run around taking away people's due process. People going in and getting their green card updated because they lost it. They weren't being deported without any reason. You know, what Trump is doing is horrific. What's up, Bruce? All right. And that's the thing is Trump literally is Hitler 1933. The MAGA party or the baby Nazi party, right? Is Trump a Jeffrey? All right, take the poll. I think it's pretty obvious now the way Trump is acting that he's a fucking pedo. Matt's a Nazi. What's up, Nazi? We got a Nazi, Matt. Poor Matt, you know, all upset that his president's a pedo. If America's not doing well, why do we need more? Why do we need more immigrants? Because look at Japan, a country that doesn't have immigrations has a severe population crisis. We have a 4% unemployment rate in America. What happens when you remove 11 million jobs, right? These people are doing jobs. It's insane, all right, what's going to happen. All right, what Trump is doing is just insane. Anyway, no mention trying to sell off our nation parks. Yeah, not to mention exactly. All right, which got stopped, but doesn't mean it's not going to. It means it's not going to not happen. So yeah, he's trying, and all these, and what their guys want to afford. You know, you saw how they housed it, right? They house it like for affordable housing. They're like, oh, we'll put it as affordable housing, but then we'll have, you know, rich people come and buy it and sell it for, you know, for thing. Yeah, where are the Epstein files? Release the Epstein files. Absolutely. Well, the problem there, Jeffrey, Wine Jeffrey, elect leaders, the problem is we need to change our entire election system, right? People who go into politics should be the nerdy types, the likes that really care, really want to make a difference. And the way, how do you do that? Well, you don't make the salary that great. You give them a housing in DC. You pay for their transportation back and forth, right? You don't make it a cushy job where you become a millionaire, right? Because you get paid by, and you get rid of lobbyists and shit like that. Yeah, that's right, Felix. Exactly. Whack-a-maga. This is whack-a-maga, right? On that. Time, real weird. Really? Jay, tell us more. I want to hear more about your working in Epstein's. We have a special guest today. It's Jay. He can tell you all about the weirdness in Epstein's house. That's crazy. Yeah, but the Homeland Security Act of 2002 has no premises in there for violating the Constitution. The Fourth, the Fifth, the 14th Amendment on there. Does it, dog? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you have 1 hour to whack a mag at. They were in here earlier, but I'm at my house and my Wi-Fi kicks in, and it fucked up my connection, so we lost a bunch of them. Wow. Floor to ceiling mirrors in every shower. Who would buy Epstein's house, dude? They must have been a rich fuckers, dude. I wonder if they got it for cheap. And was that the house in Florida or the house in Man? Where was the house, Jay? Which one? Was that Florida house or the New York or the ranch? Know about creating a security state? Yeah, but Trump's going overboard. I mean, with his with his um kinds of money. I'm actually going to get off here, guys. 7th Street. Wow. So that was one of the most expensive properties in New York, right? I lived on 77th in Amsterdam for 2 years, not far from that place. I got to work on a patent, so I can't. I gotta like concentrate. I'm submitting. I'll be live again at 2 o'clock, around 2-3 o'clock for MAGA whacking. Cindy. Um, but I was dropping Mikey off at school. I just wanted to pop in. I'll be on later. I gotta get this patent done because I'm submitting it today. So I gotta get Tommy helping me with it. Tommy's at home taking off this morning. Wow. What did they pay for? What was it? What did it go for? Do you know what they bought it for? I think, my theory, Jay, is that Elaine Maxwell's sitting on a lot of shit, dude. I think Elaine Maxwell is sitting on a trove. Just think about it. If you were Epstein and you know that the shit was closing around on you, you would have like given your shit like a guy from Australia. Um, he probably was maybe it was one of Rupert Murdoch's. I bet it was one of Rupert Murdoch's kids, right? One of Rupert Murdoch's proxies. Rupert Murdoch bought it. That's why. That's where they found it. The thing was the latest. We can create conspiracy theory, Jay. So Jay, you found I found the thing in the house when I was doing some repairs. It was hidden. It was hidden. I'm sure like looking for secret hiding places that place has. You know, beside that, I bet it's got secret hiding places. Some bodies, information. But I bet you, I mean, it just makes sense that she is sitting on it. That's right. Trump is Jeffrey's employer. That's right, Head. Well, the thing is that people don't realize is like the stuff that's coming. They made reporting about Trump being a sex trafficker with his, with his talent, his modeling agency. He was moving girls. They were moving girls. There was three. What's his name? Gave a great report. Kyle did, right? You guys hear Kyle's report?
He has the word conspiracy a couple times, kind of lumped in with aliens.
Kyle Kalinske does a great report on it. It's like a bombshell.
All right, y'all, welcome to the show. I hope everybody's having a spectacular day. Got a lot of stuff to get to today. So in just a second, we have some new Jeffrey Epstein bombs as it pertains to Donald Trump. Video that has resurfaced, some old pictures that have resurfaced. We got Jeffrey Epstein's brother coming out on the record and setting Trump straight and letting everybody know the truth about how close they were. So we'll talk about that in just a second. We also have Trump internally among his staffers is absolutely losing it over the MAGA Epstein rebellion. We got some amazing quotes coming out of that story. Later on, we'll talk about the Nelk boys and how they stepped in a heaping pile of diarrhea doo-doo because they decided to have on Benjamin Netanyahu and throw some softballs at him, and the internet basically revolted, including like virtually all of their fans. So we got some more on that. Hassan Piker tries to big bro them a little bit and let them know how they fucked up. We'll get to Mehdi Hassan in that Jubilee debate. Remember, one of the guys just basically came out and said, yeah, I'm a fascist, whatever, who cares? Turns out he was fired. so there apparently are still some consequences in society when you don't play the game, right? Like if he played hide the ball with his ideology, he'd probably still have a job, but he just came out and said it. So consequences there are. And then later on, I mean, I got the stories today, like every single story I'm giving you is one I could have led the show with because they're all that incredible. So I also have Obama calling out Trump and Trump saying Obama's guilty of treason and he should be arrested. That story is wild, but it's also very clearly just another attempt to distract from the Epstein files. And then we have Hunter Biden goes off in this amazing interview with Channel 5, Andrew Callahan. Everybody definitely check out that. It's over 3 hours, but it's well worth it. And by the way, we have Andrew Callahan coming on Crystal Kyle and Friends this.
Let's see. That's Hunter Biden, Callahan.
I was drinking so much alcohol, almost a handle about that day. And alcohol is the most destructive drug, not just to your body, but it puts you in more danger than any other drug that I've ever experienced. And then you add on top of that the amount of crack that I was using at the time. And crack cocaine, in terms of your physical health, is not as dangerous as the situation that you put yourself in to be able to obtain it. How do you get crack? One of the things I don't want to do is give a how-to to any moron like myself that may think that it's a good idea. But crack cocaine is I am fully aware when I'm talking about it in relationship to my own experience with it. It is still a shocking thing for most people, because we have been fed this perception of crack cocaine. It's more than just a drug. It's more than, like, if you say meth or if you say heroin or if you say cocaine.
NBA basketball player. So you see a black guy, I see an NBA basketball player.
You can go get it are some of the most dangerous places in whatever location you happen to be in. And it's everywhere.
You see how your racism comes out? Black person behind you. NBA basketball player behind me.
I'm going to pretend like I'm getting attacked by a bee right now. It's all right. We can keep my train. Without them, we would all try to root. By the way, that's true too. Birds aren't real, but bees are. Good morning, America and the world. My name is Andrew Callahan, the host and creator of Channel 5, the largest independent crowdfunded newsroom in the United States. The following interview is with Hunter Biden, the controversial storied son of former President Joe Biden, who issued a full and unconditional pardon for Hunter during his final month in office, shortly after Hunter was found guilty of tax crimes and possession of a firearm. Hunter has yet to speak to the media, and from a very limited and controlled press run to promote his new book, Beautiful Things for 2021, Hunter hasn't given a single statement to the media, especially in regard to the laptop scandal. It's a crucial he's still moving back in 2020, or is alleged Joe Biden was being controlled and manipulated by nefarious foreign actors who connects to private emails that were found on a laptop that Rudy Giuliani and his lawyer claimed Hunter left at a computer repair shop in Delaware sometime in 2020, where after the laptop repairman, John Paul Mac Isaac, essentially leaked its content to the world, along with evidence of alleged corruption, tax evasion, and influence peddling.